favor. This is one more, please. Welcome to Odphadez once again. It's a second round, which you guys, and my dream was to have you guys in the studio at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So it came true.
It's real.
Wow.
It's real.
Here we are,
Uh,
man.
So before anything, we go any further, I want to share a little bit more about why I invited you guys. And I have Cisco and Abel, who you guys joined in episode 8. That was
right.
back in June of 2021. And then Edgar came in and he hit me up and wanted to share the story. That was in episode number 2022. Episode 2022. And that was around September of 2021, in the summer. And then ever since then, I would say before anything, you guys can actually, the audience, I'm going to share the link of each episode so you guys can go back and check them out. Yeah. But there's now where a couple of years afterwards, and you guys have been thriving, have been growing, have been flourishing in the industry, the barbershop industry. And we want to highlight that part. We want to highlight the substantial growth you guys have experienced in your businesses and also personal life. I know, Abel, you got married not too long ago, and you're expecting a kid now.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Congrats, brother.
Thank you,
Wow.
man. Yeah, my first child. I'm excited.
wow.
Yeah, we're excited.
God bless you.
So,
Congrats,
shout out
bro.
to Dylan.
Yeah.
You'll hear this later.
Saludos. And then we'll go into say the changes for you guys. I know we've also experienced inflation, a war in Ukraine that affected your family directly. We'll go into that, and also going from Salon Lofts to Bearded Brand and joining the team they used to work with in the past.
Yeah.
So I have in the studio Francisco Alba, Edgar Argumedo, and Abel Olmos.
Olmos. Yes.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
us, brother.
having us, man. Yeah.
And before we go any further, I want to say, still Austin, thank you for the product. Today we're drinking a New York Sour. And also thank you to everyone that checks out our episodes, whether it's on Spotify, YouTube, or Bolts TV. Greatly appreciate you guys. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe with everybody that you know or you don't know. Just send them the link. Let's go into the intro of each and every one of you guys. Can we start first with Cisco and share a little bit more about you? Not a whole detail, say a 2-hour episode that we had in the past. Just more a quick brief description about you, what has been going on this past couple of years, and then we'll just go with Edgar, and then we'll finish with Abel.
All right. Well, since our last episode that we had here, I moved from doing my own independent thing in my studio over to Beer Brand Barbershop. Been there since last April. Been going strong, been steady. Just hanging out with the lady, my 2 dogs, and just living life. So
That's cool. That's cool. And you move a little more central. In the past, you were,
I have always worked south. Yeah, south of the river. Now I'm more central, north central area of town. So I get to be closer to those clients that were in the north part of town, Cedar Park, Leander, Round Rock, Pflugerville, and now I know it's a nice in between for everybody. So
man, I appreciate the move, man, because it's 5 minutes from my house now. I used to always be like, I'm en route, and I was just exiting, so my bad. Until last time, he's I already know you're on the way. But now I appreciate you here.
Be 15 minutes late.
Yeah, about. And then one thing is we were friends for a while ever since I started cutting my hair with you. So we grew a friendship, I think, with you guys as well. And I think it's cool the fact that seeing my friends do something a move back to the north side to accommodate to your clients. I think that's important because you're thinking about them as well.
Yeah, I mean, everyone in general, right? It's including myself. It's I wouldn't make that move if it wasn't also beneficial to me on my side. It's only a 5-minute more of a drive for me from my house than it was to Salon Lofts, and I get to work with some incredible barbers, and I get to be in a spot where I'm still my own independent self. So I was it makes a lot of sense. So
And let's go with Edgar. The first time you came, you had your South Austin, South Lamar location, and your East Six location. But since then, you also opened up South Park Meadows and Mueller.
Yes, sir.
How's
Yes,
that?
sir.
Expansion, growth. How's that been for you?
It's been a beautiful journey. I would say it's been a lot of hard work. It's been sweat, tears, and a little bit of blood. But I love seeing people come through my shop and grow, individually and with everyone there as a business. My shops are not for everyone. It's and I say people that work there. We do things differently, and I think a lot of people that gone through my shop and that are working there now, it's they see that it's different, and some of them like it, some of them don't, but yeah, we opened up and it's been great. It's been an amazing journey, like I said.
That's cool. And when, like, say, choosing the locations, was it to expand more central to Austin, or what was that process like for you guys?
Yeah, so we knew that we wanted to go south.
Okay.
A lot of our clients come from south, and we wanted to go south. We already had South Park Meadows, but it took forever. It took more than a baby. And so just
Abel would know.
Yeah, out of just frustration, we started looking somewhere else, and we found Mueller, and we went to go see it on a Sunday. On a Monday, we called back and said we want it, and we went for it. 2 months later, they called us and like, hey, we're giving you the keys in about, come and get your keys for South Park Meadows. So that was like, boom, boom, let's do it. And it's been a great opportunity for us. We grew from, I'll say, 7 to 8 barbers to about 25 now.
Wow.
So it's been crazy. It's been so
Triple,
fast,
basically.
so fast, and it's just crazy. I don't want to do it anymore though. Just 4 is it. That's
4
it.
is it.
Yeah, I'm tired, and I just want my shops to be strong, my people to be happy, and if they're happy, I'm happy. So I work for them, basically. They're my people, so I take care of them as much as I can.
That's good to hear, man. How you say you work for them.
Yeah.
As a business owner, you tripled the headcount. Saying you work for them, I think it's a key thing to say for someone that is above people and not they work for you. It's great.
No, I work for them, and we try to do as much as we can between my partner and I, and we like to, just keep them happy. That's it.
That's cool. And before we finish off, what is I know you guys, your wife is from Ukraine. The war, how did that affect you guys? Especially, you were experiencing growth, but you're also going through that personally. How was that like for your family?
Yeah, it's been tough, especially on my wife. She has a brother there, and her brother has a wife and a kid. And she calls him every single day just to check up on him. The good thing about it is that he's in the side of Ukraine that there's no war. So right now. So that's the thing that always keeps us on our toes, kind of like checking on them. And for her, it's been tough. You know, there's no words for me to explain how she felt, because I really don't know. But I see it, and I'm glad that I'm there to give her 110% of my support, whatever she needs, whatever she wants, you know, and I'm there for her and for the family, because they became my family. So obviously, you know, but she's taking it, you know, strong, and you know, it's hard. It's really hard. If you could tell, I cannot find any words to explain, you know, her pain, you know, and how and what she's going through, because I really don't know, you know. And that question, probably she will be the only one answer, you know, that could answer that. But it's tough.
Well, you know, the fact that they're in safer side, so that's right, a relief. Yes. That's good. That's good. And Abel, you know, you have the barbershop. You know, you have an amazing crew, but you also started coaching smaller businesses. Yeah. How's that going for you, or when did the switch click for you to go in and help other people based on your experience?
I don't think it was a switch to say, but it was definitely something that I was already doing with the barbers. I was coaching them through their business journey, them finding their mindset to explore what it is, what's the next level for them looks like. So for me, it was more of a natural transition to go into looking for ways where other small businesses can explore what are the alternatives for them to grow. And a lot of times you find that grow needs to be internal first before it becomes external in all scenarios, whether that is you as an individual, you as a complete business. And I think that's the beauty of where we at right now as a shop. One of the things that I admire about him is how fast he has grown. And for me to hear him say that 4 is enough, it's like, oh man, like I cannot only imagine how difficult that is. And that gives me also the opportunity to ask him questions on like, what has he learned that I can learn when it's time for us to grow the same speed and the same way. I think I will be more prepared. So thank you so much for being able to share that. But yeah, it's a natural transition to go into how do you grow internally first, and I think that's something that I'm exploring.
I think if we're gonna get into the internal part more than the transactional part, the masterminds behind it. But it's, you know, it's a conversation, so you guys can ask each other questions. You guys can ask me questions. You guys can also ask Luke questions. He's in the, you know, and the 1 and 2s in the background.
What's up, 1 and 2?
He's you know, part of OtraXFavor. He's been helping me quite for a while now, and it's been great to have a creative mind like him here. So cheers to Duke.
Cheers, brother. Cheers, brother.
El patito malo. So I want to ask you guys, 2022 was inflation. How did that affect like each and every one of your guys in your business, but also in your personal lives?
I go first, I guess.
Just goes like, I got a lot to say, bro.
No, I mean, I try to do a yearly increase in my prices. Nothing that's like price gouging and everything. Trying to be considerate of my clients, but also my life and my expenses and everything, right? Me and my wife were pretty lucky to we had like refied our house back in 2021. So we ended up getting a super, super low interest rate in our house. So our payment for like our house is pretty low considering what other people are paying for a house or apartments. So we pretty lucky in that sense. It wasn't that much of an effect, but I think as a business owner, as a barber, understanding that you also have to grow with the market, if it's down, if it's up. And it's such a weird conversation to have internally with myself, with other barbers, because I feel like we go through this process, like, once every year, every two, of like, when it's time to raise the prices, you're always like, man, I'm like, I'm gonna hold off, and it's like, all right, I need to do it, but it's that fight, that internal fight that you have with yourself, and and I'm like, I know I'm worth it. I know that my clients won't bat an eye, but for me, it's always like that clash. It's always that clash. I'm like, oh man, I just gotta do it. And
I think also what made it difficult is that inflation forced you to bring up your prices probably sooner than what you were felt comfortable at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that happened to us too. We had to go up in price not because we couldn't be at that price level, but because we knew that it's kind of like, well, what's the alternative?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it worked out. However, inflation is still going. A year later, it's still going. Mm-hmm. And it's one, when the market forces you to do something you're not prepared for, it's an opportunity for you to learn and find what value you can offer to. Let me take a step back. Even before inflation, remove it out of the equation. Your business should be providing value regardless. And you should be going up in price, whether there's inflation or not.
Yeah.
Because of the value that you're going to continue creating. But when it forces you, I think that becomes a bit more of a like, oh, geez, like, okay, well, I'm doing this for other reasons. Mm-hmm. And I think that was kind of frustrating. It worked out. I think that we are going to continue now exploring what other value can we bring that, whether inflation exists or not, we still can increase our prices without having to compromise on what we can offer as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, like Abel said, providing value to the service. I feel like our service, what we provide is quality. A lot of the times we don't. I have so my shops they run differently. He's solo business. He has a business of a certain amount of
rent.
Booth rent. Mm-hmm. So that's different. My business is totally different, where I do have a tier system. So you have barbers that charge $40 up to $50. And so it's 40, 45, 50. So that's the tier system. Mm-hmm. So we tend to be able to serve those people that don't want to pay the $50, right? Without cutting off the quality, right? And the reason why that some people are at 40, some people are 45 and 50, it's because it's not the level of the barber, but it's sort of like the seniority of the barber in our business, right? So that's basically how we're able to sort of, how can I say, take a little bit more of the population, per se. Accommodate more people than just one price. This is what you're paying. That's it, right? But not to take away from what they are, because I worked at Abel's shop on weekends before, so I know how he runs his shop, and I know the value that he provides, and I know Cisco, and I know what he could provide, or what his work, basically the quality of work that he does. So, but I do it more of as a whole business, and barbers that come through the shop, they're cool with that. And what I really like is that they grow with the business, right? It's sort of like a career path rather than just like, hey, here it is, and this is all you. But economy, it's always gonna be economy. We've been fighting economy since I don't know when, since the 80s, 60s or whatever. There's been wars at all times. So it's always the quality of service that you are providing. That way the client finds the worth paying 45, 50, 60, 75. I know someone that charges $100 and he's fully booked. But why? Because he's providing something that I don't even know. I haven't gone to the guy, but he's providing something, right, to these people that these people are like, oh man, he's
worth it.
He's worth it.
Yeah.
So I feel like inflation and economy it's important, but also what are you doing to survive in this economy?
I think one thing that I remember Abel saying is the experience of when someone walks into your business is how are they going to feel when they walk in, especially like say if they know you for a while, are you going to be, striking a conversation, remembering, what they're about and, what they do, like what Cisco does all the time. Like say with you, it's just people that come in, how you accommodate to everyone that can't afford either a $50 haircut or a $100 haircut. And then just that minimal but powerful way of doing business. I think a lot of the times it's just maneuvering it. That's, sort of a make or break thing for a business. Because we're always going to fight adversity. We're always going to fight setbacks. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the day after, the day after.
Before COVID.
Yeah, for COVID. And now it's just how can you remain constant, but also how can you find a way to improve what you're doing? And that's a hard thing to do because did you guys ever experience maybe, man, I have to adjust to this situation and it's hard to adjust to it? Or is this something that, since you've already worked so hard, you already know how to find your way in the industry?
I think for me, going on my own and doing that for, was it like 3 years? Yeah, 3 years. I felt that need of like finding people to bounce my ideas off of. And it was so hard to do it by myself, or I had to be very proactive to go and search for those people. Versus when I was in a shop, it was just like, hey, what do you think about this? And it's just bouncing back ideas. Or even just like, hey, what are you doing different with this? Or like, hey, what's your method for XYZ? And it's like, I got to that point where I'm like, I kind of miss that, man. And then I got the opportunity to go back into a shop, and it's almost like a resurgence of like creative energy again, of that flow. I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. Seeing other people work and seeing what they do different and seeing things that I can implement in my routine or with my haircuts. And I'm just like, I didn't think about that. I'm going to start doing that. And just to your point, adding that value to my experience as a barber.
Yeah. It's always good to be around other people, especially good people, because you grow as a group. If you're alone in a suite, then Cisco could tell you,
yeah,
it's just you, and you're the one that has to like find the solution to a lot of the problems that you go through year after year. But if you're in a shop, it's like, hey man, how are you doing your taxes?
Yeah.
Or hey dude, like how do you promote yourself? Or hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? So those are the things that you learn when you're in a group. Then it's way different than being by yourself in a suite.
Yeah, and the beautiful part about it is that you're going to have challenges every day or every week, but there's nothing more beautiful and more, I would say, more inspirational than collective problem solving. That's just something that it's unmatched. And for a lot of people, Cisco knows, going from being independent by himself to going into a team, being able to problem solve faster, less problems to solve over time, and you get to evolve with your team, and everyone get to learn from you. So there's nothing more beautiful than collective problem solving. I think that that's going to be the future of the grooming industry and in the barbering. It's creating spaces for barbers to come together and solve problems at a high level and really tap into areas that need to be evolved. And that's how you move the industry forward. So I think that there's been this very old school, not old school, but this I am my own independent contractor, I'm my own boss. But in reality, there's so many things that go into any business, no matter the industry, that it requires you to work collectively with a group of people. Yep. And if that group of people have smarts, they're passionate just as much as you are, they have a vision that you guys can share, at least like fundamentally, that it's unlimited.
Yeah, I think there's unlimited. Not enough education out there. There's not education. There's a lot of people that come out of high school and they just become a barber. And because they get a license from the state, they think they own a business. They think this is, I could go wherever I want. I could do whatever I want. I could go into any place and do whatever I want. That's not how it is. Yeah. That's not how it is.
Yeah, and that speaks a lot about we were talking outside of like the American system. That is the American system of like self, and it has been so twisted, even in the barbershop industry of me, and a shop like ours comes in and will squash you in 3 months, and you will be forgotten. So it just shows you that the education system is programming students to think for themselves rather than working collectively. as a unit.
Right.
And it's not fully their fault or none of our fault, but it's really the concept and the programming and the narrative that been implemented to us. I'm guilty of that too, of greed, working for yourself and blah, blah, but the cap that you're going to bump into so fast
and
is going to hurt you more than it will benefit you.
I think I also blame the barber schools.
Yes. No, go on. Go for it.
I think I blame the barber schools because you go to barber school and they make you sit there in a chair. They don't teach you anything. They just give you a book and say, look, this is the test. This is the quizzes that we're going through. This is how you're going to pass this test for you to get this license. But they don't tell you, or they tell, and then they give you a formula. They're like, okay, if you charge $50 times 10, that's $500 a day times, blah, 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 blah. And then, at the end, they come out with like, oh, yeah, you could make over $110,000 a year. And they brainwash these people. So sorry to say, but it's the truth. They brainwash these people, and they don't explain what goes before that. What do you have to in order for you to make $110,000 a year? Coming out of school, you're not gonna have clientele. First of all, your 6 friends that used to come to school they're gonna be like, wait, you charging $40, $50 a haircut? What? They're gonna disappear.
And you will not know who to market,
right,
who to target.
Exactly.
Because you're not even prepared to meet those people.
Exactly, because there's no structure. There's no structure how to bring in those people, how to bring in those clients, who are you targeting? What kind of haircuts? What's your style? What's this? There's so many things that goes behind it that, these people don't have any idea. So like Abel said, they come to one of our shops and then they work with us for 3 months, or sometimes they work for 2 weeks. Yep. And they're like, shit. Like,
I got it all wrong.
I have to do this, and that. Like, what is this? This is a job. But yeah. It is a job. You have to do this work in order for you to grow as a person. And I say anybody that comes out of school 3 years in, they're like, hey, they could tell you I sort of know what I'm doing. Yep. Okay. At 5 years, you're like, okay, throw me anything. I could cut anybody that walks through that door at 5 years. Then after that, you have to grow yourself to be like, okay, what am I sticking to? How am I making more money? How am I growing as a person and as a barber? How much money I could make? When do I have to raise my prices? You know, all that. And then, you know, on top of that, there's so many things
There's
out there.
so many things, yeah.
Things that you have to run into that they don't explain to you at these barber schools. You know, they just give you a book, like I said, and
The manual, and that's it.
yeah, you gotta do 1,500, 10,000,
1,200,
1,000.
Yeah, it's like 1,200. One of the things I mentioned about barber school, I was like, barber schools, not just in Austin, but everywhere, need to spend one whole either 4 weeks or 6 weeks on customer service alone. Alone.
Yeah.
Like, just listen, the entryway for you to become a barber, you need to X amount of hours or weeks to do customer service alone. Because let me tell you something, and again, it's not their fault. It's the education system.
It's just
that unfortunately the barber academies and the schools replicate is these kids don't even know how to talk to people. And they sell them this dream of making 6 figures unprepared.
Yeah.
And reality hits them very hard. You and I, we give them a chance. They spend 2 weeks with us. They start, things become very clear to them. And they go back charging $25 for a haircut because the school sold them short. That's unfair, unrealistic. And that is so, and I say unfair because the school does not dedicate time to really prepare these kids to become successful.
Agreed.
And people like us have to now slowly mold them, bring somebody out there who has a bad habits from other shops. And that's another thing. Other shops continue creating these. I want to be nice here because
Say it, fucking hold back.
But you know, it's
I don't want to get shot.
For the one on the street.
But, you know, this comes in from a very passionate and loving way.
Yeah.
Is surround yourself with people who are doing the things that you thrive to achieve. Because they're the only people who are going to give you the right information, and you're more likely to have a lot more similarities to them than differences. And they will give you the honesty and say, hey man, listen, school's not gonna prepare you 100%. Start working on this area, do this, go to this person, talk to this, do your homework. Most of the barbers' work ends in school, but really school starts after you graduate.
Yeah, I feel like there's also should be a barber owner association in Austin or something where you're able to communicate with other shops. If somebody's working for you and it doesn't work out at your shop, I feel like any other shops that this barber goes to should be able to call anybody and be like, hey, how is this guy?
Blacklisted.
You know what I mean?
Don't find.
You weed out all this like. You weed out all this like.
That guy Cisco. Don't hire him.
That dude. Watch out. But you know, I feel like it's a level of respect that we should all have around just a small city. You know what I mean? Because the barber industry is so small here in Austin that we should all be together and be like, we're all looking for the same thing. We all have businesses. We're all trying to like grow as a business. Because guess what? A barbershop is not just a hangout. It's a fucking business. And excuse my language.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could.
You're good.
cuss,
You're
but
good.
Okay. It's a business.
Yeah.
If somebody goes into business just to have the business and not make profit off of it, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
You're doing a nonprofit at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah. What game
A
are
charity,
you playing?
you know,
charity
work. That's it. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, and to that is, with that comes also preparation. But I also think that every barber needs to go through their hardships. People deserve a second chance because, again, the school don't prepare you for real world. People can say, man, I thought this was going to happen for me, and I don't want to, I'm ready for the real thing, and I'm ready to tie on my shoes and do the thing. And we're someone who really, at least in our shop, we really want to give people the chance for them to grow and have that experience of what is something that I can experience now after going through like all these like junky, crappy barbershops.
Yeah.
And I think everyone deserves that chance to explore it and see if it's for you. I really think a lot of people are in this industry for the lifestyle that it can provide you. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are not here for
Stripper
the
money.
true craft.
Stripper money.
Yeah, and I agree with you. This is also about making money, but making money should be a byproduct of you finding out if this is for you.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if you go from the other way to that way, good luck. It's a short-term goal. You're not gonna be around forever. Again, another young guy who's 20, ready to really make it happen, is gonna beat you out the water and make 6 figures in the next 3 to 5 years. And I think it's all about like, how serious are you? And this is why I think the schools needs to be more a slower process on like, let's do 6 weeks of customer service to see if you can handle customer service to begin.
Or what can you work on that?
Can you even work on it? Can you improve on it? Are you someone quick to learn? Because we are in the people business. This is barbershop is the process that we have, is the medium, but the connection is really the people relationship.
Yeah. Well, we're like bartenders, right?
Bartenders, you guys are psychologists.
Exactly. Well, that's what we are.
Yeah, and I will even go deeper. We touch people. Bartenders don't. So we get personal, right? Like we're in a deeper level. We're in a deeper level.
It goes like,
let me be more specific. We touch. You know, we get close to people more than other service people, right? And for a while, sometimes we get close to people and very close to over 30 minutes, over 40 minutes, an hour, 2 hours sometimes. So it just shows you that barbering is it's a deeper thing than what it has been promoted. Mm-hmm. And I think the schools have not been very clear about it. And I think that they're doing a disservice by not being more transparent about it.
Well, it's almost like, I feel it's like now that they're decreased the hours, right? It was a couple years ago they did that.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost
1,500 to 1,000.
Seems like they're just, like it's almost like a get in and get out kind of thing. It's almost like just come in, pay us their money, pay the state their fee for the license, and get out.
Right. So at one point, I think they wanted to lower it to 500.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Yeah,
And see, the thing is that what they, I guess what they have in their mind is that they want to create jobs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So the faster you get it, the more it's gonna be like, okay, now I'm gonna be able to apply for this job, blah 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 blah. But they don't understand that they're hurting the industry. First of all, they're hurting the industry. They have never given a shit about our industry, first of all, because or else our industry is important. Look at what happened during pandemic. People were calling me to go cut their hair. I told them no, but.
Let me ask you a question, both of you. Is the barber school, now that I'm thinking about it and I hear you, is the barber school in the grooming barber industry or they are in the education industry?
Education, I think.
Right. So
they're just
fundamentally there's a disconnect there, no?
The curriculum
following the high school.
Yeah. Right? Well, the curriculum for barber school is not the most sophisticated curriculum. So meaning like
they're in the education industry. That's why.
Right. It doesn't go into a lot of detail or practice or I feel like, to your point, customer service should be a main issue in a school, but also other things. I mean, financials.
It's holistic.
Literacy,
Reading,
everything.
Yeah, sales,
planning,
marketing.
I mean, marketing. All of that should be. It's and also after school there should be an apprenticeship, a program, which I'll go into that in a little bit, but that's what it should be. Like, what doctor do you see graduating from school and straight going into doing surgery? They have to follow someone that's been doing surgery for 20 years. Well, they don't follow them for 20 years. They follow them, they do an apprenticeship or a house
residency.
or a residency. You know what I mean? I understand we're not doctors. I understand that. And we shouldn't be, put in that pedestal. But it's important. It's important for the person that's getting a haircut to feel good after they leave, to leave with a smile, to feel good about themselves. Man, people come in for like, hey, I'm getting married this weekend, cut my hair. It's like, shit, those pictures are gonna be forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a party pooper here, but you could also have fun with it, but being professional. You gotta be professional in order for you to be successful in this industry. So there's a lot of, going back to everything, like it's a lot of, it's a whole combination of a lot of things in order for you to become a barber. Barbering is just not like going to the shop, hanging out, talking, laughing, drinking on the job, whatever it is, and then coming out of the shop and going to the bar and hanging out.
Well,
that was what I thought.
To be a respected barber.
A respected barber. Then what you do outside of the barbershop, it's totally your deal.
It's your personal
That's
time.
your personal time. But, but us as a business, we need to be able to hire someone that respects and believes in what we do in order to be part of our company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe in that, you just say yes, oh yeah, I do that, oh yeah, I could do this, oh yeah, I agree to this, I agree to that. But once they set their feet behind the chair and they start doing whatever the hell they want,
that's when it's different.
Yeah, well, that's different, right? Well, you know what? You could do that. I'm not knocking it out. Like, you could do that, but not at this shop, right? And believe me, you could ask any of these guys that work with us. Like, they have fun. They come in, they shisha, there's this camaraderie through our shops that they hang out, they go after work, then they have fun at the shop, they put whatever music they want, unless it's not like, say any bad words. Es puro peso pluma. Yeah. And but it's they have fun with it, but also being professional. As soon as somebody walks in, hey, how's it going? The vibe also has to be important.
Yeah, it's kind of like a soccer player, right? You get the opportunity to go play professionally, but it's not just the clout and the money and all the being popular in front of the camera and with the fans, but it's also, I'm not a professional soccer player, so I don't know how it feels like, but it's also,
you could ask me,
how do you Edgar but it's also, how do you carry yourself in your career training wise. You can have fun, but in that moment, like in that game time, what is your role and how are you fulfilling what you're supposed to do?
Yes.
And like one thing, like say for example in accounting, you go in accounting and the schools always just talk, back in the days, I don't know how it is now, but they would just talk about the big four. They never talked about, the smaller businesses. They never said, what, if you work in a smaller business, it's different because you're probably working with a guy that just started his business. How can you help him do his books correctly? Mm-hmm. What does he have in mind? Thinking, he can write off a whole truck for a whole, like, $50,000 in a year. Like, no, dude, you can ask it and then amortize it. Like, so capitalize and amortize. But it's just, how can you manage these situations? And then seeing that there's a disconnect, it just becomes to, it's harder sometimes for people to break back habits because they haven't experienced something good.
Yeah. Well, look at, to your point, look at Romario. Look at Ronaldinho. He used to party. All of these soccer players used to party. They party after, but you see them in the field.
Yeah.
How many World Cups has Maradona won? He was you know what I mean? And, and drinking and everything.
Well, like say there's the team Chivas. They have a lot of players like that, but no ganan nada.
That's my team too.
Well, I think
let's
to
get out,
too,
bro.
right?
Vámonos.
to that too, I think it all comes down to like even those players, right? Using that comparison, those players, whether they were signed or they were going to another team that is not as popular, they will still be who they are. These guys are. It's something that they found within themselves.
The work ethic, man, that they have.
Yeah, I mean, just the love, the respect to the game. It's so high in their head, and they have they idolize the structure and what the game has given them, the ability to create, especially in this field, to create art. They have been blessed to be in that opportunity. So for them, they give it such a high respect to the training, to the coaches, the way they conduct themselves in the field, that everything else don't even matter. Now, after that, of course, they go party and let it out. But same thing could happen in any business. It's not even you on the podcast. Something you have done over 100 podcasts is because something here is speaking to you deeply, other than like the lights and everything. This is deeper than just us. So same thing with any career. I've been in tech. We come from different backgrounds. So we know exactly, and we all made it our business to find out the thing that makes us feel good, that we can dedicate love, passion, time, effort, money, blood, sweat, tears. Like we found the thing. And I think a lot of barbers, going back to the barbers, need to take their time
to find that
thing that they're ready to bleed for and sweat and cry and stress over. Because if it's not, you're wasting your life. Find the thing that you want to sweat for. Find the thing that you want to cry for. Find the thing that you want to really die, not die for, but,
See,
close to.
Craziest thing. The craziest thing is that people go through that, and I understand what you're saying, but there's people that waste 1-2 years on just trying to, figure out, and
that's fine.
And they go from shop to shop.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that's totally that's totally fine. We don't, but if they were to put in their brain and their effort and everything just to learn that process, how long it takes to learn a skill? Do you guys know?
I forget the exact.
If you Google it,
the exact number of hours.
It's 10,000 hours without feedback. 100 if you have feedback immediately.
Now, this guy says that you could learn a skill in 20 hours. If you put in at least 45 minutes a day to do that skill and you learn it faster than anything, right? In 20 hours, you could learn a new skill.
20 hours. Interesting. Never heard 20 hours. I heard 100 with feedback.
20 hours. Oh. Yeah. If you do it.
If you dedicate
continuously, right? And if you turn off your phone, obviously, if you
no distractions,
no OnlyFans, and
damn it.
So you can learn the skill. You just need to put in the work.
Yeah,
it's like anything else. If you want to drive that Ferrari, dude, you gotta work. Put in that work.
But you won't put that work until you find what you're ready to put in the work for. That's the whole point, right? Like if you're ready to put those 20 hours or 10,000 hours, you got to find the thing. And I think a lot of times even people outside of the industry, they haven't found the thing that they're ready to dedicate 10,000 hours for. They'll dedicate 10,000 hours to everything else, but their thing, I don't know, man. I feel like rare
for some
sometimes.
people too. Like, I mean, this is just in the industry, because I feel like there's been a big resurgence with barbershops, and being a barber, it's cool, right? To be behind the chair.
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of people do it. It seems like for the wrong reason sometimes, because what the dream that they're sold in barbers, because like,
and on Instagram,
so much money. Instagram is like completely blowing it out the water. It's like, I'm cool, I'm hanging out with all these people, like cutting up,
It's because there's many more people out there that want to do the easy part or the easy thing and the fastest thing, right?
Yeah.
Instead of doing a 4-year college degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
or those 10,000 hours.
Oh, those 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
So if they see, barbering, it's like, 1,000 hours.
Shortcut.
I could do that in 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fast. And then it's stripper money, So it's like, but it's not like that.
Yeah, that's
You know
not.
what I mean?
Well, it's short lived.
It's short lived.
Very
It's very
short,
short
yeah.
lived. It goes fast.
Do forget about them.
Yes.
They will not come back 4 years later and be here and have a conversation. Because I know these guys for over 4 years.
Yeah.
Now. When we were opening our shops and finding our
It
space.
was like 2018 when I first
Yeah,
met you, and
yeah.
you were talking about opening up a barbershop.
Mhm.
No, but it's just like, say, when I think of the going through the process, right? You know, when you go through like training, you go through experiences, and you find what you want. You're gonna experience situations where you're gonna be unmotivated to do something. You're gonna, sometimes it's gonna be something outside of your reach that is gonna affect what you're doing. But it's when that's when you pull like your weight the most instead of like backing down. It's like, for example, in a company, it's like, say sales are slow. What can you do to increase the sales? What can you do to bring a different experience to the consumer at the end of the day? And I think for barbershops, I'm thinking it should be the same way.
Yeah, it is.
Where
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know exactly. I'm not a barber. I don't know in a barbershop, but it seems like there's barbershops that I've been to before I moved to Austin where you go in, you're waiting for 5 hours, 6 hours, and then for your turn.
You know what it is, and I think I have that answer. It's that whoever sits in your chair as a barber, because me and Cisco are barbers, right? Whoever, and he could tell his people too, but like whoever sits in our chair, they're in our chair for a reason. First of all, they could afford it. Second of all, maybe they like you.
Sometimes.
Not all the time. Sometimes.
But you know what? It's our responsibility to make sure that that person feels a certain special way, right? To feel the love, the friendship, the camaraderie between us two, the mostly friendship, right? But that's the how can I say, the combination, not the combination, but like what makes it special.
The equation.
The equation that makes it special, that you keep coming back, and it's our responsibility to keep that person, to have that retention of clients, because man, I don't want to let go of any of my clients. Believe me, when I go from location to location and I have to cancel someone, it hurts me.
Yeah.
I don't even know the person because it was the first time coming, but it hurts me because that I just lost an opportunity.
Yeah, it's that human relationship that we were talking about earlier.
And that everyone wants, right? And it just, I think that's the key for us barbers and barber owners, and to show that to the client that they are important to us, and which they are. Why? Because guess what? We're paying our bills with that. And a lot of us, we have to buy our own insurance, our own 401k. We have to put money aside. We have to pay our own houses. We have to pay our own taxes. We have to, all of that. Like, people don't understand when they come from a 500 Fortune, company, and they come to us and like, oh man, why are your haircuts so expensive? Well, man, I have to pay, you don't have to explain it to them, but like in their head, it's like, man, well, I have to pay this, you know what I mean?
Si no puedes pagarlo, no vayas.
Yeah.
And it's okay for you not to be part of a specific audience. I think that there should be barbershops for everybody, all income brackets.
There is.
And it's okay for a shop to say, hey, man, our cuts are 35, our cuts are 30, our cuts are 100, and everything in between. I think it's okay for that to exist, because every client is looking for different things. And Cisco can provide something that my barbers can't. Edgar can provide, his shops can provide something that I cannot, and vice versa. So I think that it's the shop's responsibility to lean into their strengths and lean in and understand their audience and what is it that they really like about your thing, and try to also like lean into your authenticity. You guys are a great example of that. It's like, no, we are our own thing, and the right people who can afford it, who can actually come in and build that relationship with you,
They'll find
will
you.
come in. No, they'll you. Yeah, absolutely, no, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're like, say with Cisco, how many people you've had as a client for how many years since UT, and they're still your clients.
I mean, I can name out a few, but I mean, like that sit in my chair still at this, like, to this very day is probably like a good like 7 people back from like UT, my dorm days that I still see. Obviously, like, I used to cut more like a few years back, but everyone, people move, pandemic made some people change jobs and they had to like leave town. But yeah, I mean,
People
it's
change.
still a handful. Yeah. And
people-
even to like, I get it, right? Sometimes it's like with my price increases or whatever, it's like, hey man, like I can't afford it right now.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like
Sure.
whenever they want to come back into the chair, I'm there.
And got payments.
Yeah, payment plans.
And
Afterpay.
Afterpay, Affirm.
Affirm.
Yeah, that's what I have with like with you early last year when I had to go. I got a big tax bill, and it's like, crap, I told Cisco, bro, I'll be back.
Yeah, that
soon.
Richie, yeah, that happened with Richie.
And then I came back.
And
back.
the price changes is not a
With a new style too.
when barbers and businesses do a price change, it's not to filter. It's not like a shade to the clients or they're trying to get rid of you. It's really that the barber is ready to take things to the next level. And trust me, you may not see this in the back behind the scenes, but that's where the barber's got to work differently now. It's a different hustle at a certain price point. It's a different way of positioning yourself. It's a different homework that they have to do in order for them to attract the people that can pay $100. It's not the same game of $50. You're playing a different game at 100, and that's gonna require a lot of. It's a different behavior, a different tone, a different mindset, you're living a different world at that price point. Yeah. So it's not like it's your fault that they're going up. It's that they're ready to do something completely different that the rest of the barbers are not.
To the point that Edgar had, is like you have, and when you said that all these pieces, I'm thinking about a puzzle, right? It's like all the pieces have to be set, have to be aligned. You can't be missing pieces. Everything has to be set and ready to
structured.
Go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like to your point about like you wanting to take it to the next levels, you can't be missing customer service. You can't be missing.
It's a different game.
Yeah. Now I see a guy that does like a mask and he exfoliates and he does this and he does a mask and 5 hot towels.
Yeah,
like, all this stuff. Fucking shampoo así. And
no,
you know that. And they do all that, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And
maybe I am not, like it was said, maybe I'm not ready for the next level, or for me to go up there. But, we always do prices based on analytics and who's doing what they're doing here, what they're doing there. And, and I feel like we give a good service based on what they're paying. So that's pretty much it.
Going back to offering as much value as you can. It all depends on like who you want to be as a barber, who you are as a barber now, and where you want to go. And one of the things that we say at our shop that has been like crucial is what got you here is not going to be the same behavior and the same mindset that is going to take you there. It's just not.
It's going to change.
You have to.
Yeah.
You're going to lose if you don't adjust to what is required for who you want to become.
Or you're just going to stay in that same level.
Yeah, and the market is going to let you know immediately that you haven't leveled up.
So that's something that like I also wanted to see, like say when you're talking about going from 50 to 100, adding those things, what has something have you guys seen from one of your barbers, one of the people that work with you, or even yourself? What are like some stuff that you have to improve, or you seen people improve to where, okay, I have to match that price point?
That's a good question.
Can we repeat that again? I think I know what you're saying.
So, say from going from 50 to 100, you have to improve something in your service. what is something you've seen in your barbers, or you've done, or you've done as a barber? What is something that you guys have done to match that price point?
I'll tell you what my experience has been. One, you gotta have the proper mindset to play at $100 price point. Mm-hmm. It's the big leagues. Playing at AA ain't gonna get you there. Mm-hmm. You gotta have a reality has to look completely different for you. Mm-hmm. And that means sacrificing also a lot of personal time, sacrificing desires, sacrificing FOMO. You have to almost change your personality in some way, your whole self. You have to reinvent yourself from the inside out for you to really understand, because you're not only exploring yourself at that level, but you're also interacting with a group of people that don't operate at a $50 level. They operate at 100. Mm-hmm. That's a different ballgame. The way you dress, the way you look, the way you talk, the topics of conversations that you need to have at that price point are not the same conversations at a $50 price point. Mm-hmm. And understanding that client psychology, what motivates them, what doesn't, what pushes them to come to you, how you building relationship at a $50 range is not the same thing as building a relationship at 100. Now we're friends, like friends, buddies. Mm-hmm. And seeing that growth, not that we're at 100 yet, but I have some of my guys that are in the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt that they're going to be there. And it requires time, but they're playing the long game. It takes them 5 years. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to be something that it requires changing from the inside out, and the $100 are just a byproduct of that, embracing that new them.
The new environment that they're in.
The new self.
Yeah, I agree 110%. But I also want to add that it's professionalism, and it's the way you carry yourself, and just how you provide that service, how you behave, and how you literally take care of them as much as, because I know people that do 30-minute haircuts and they do it super fast, or the 15-minute haircuts and they do it super fast, and they charge $75, $80. And they, not to go against Abel, but they, dress like
they could get away with it. No, but you know what? They could get away with it because there still hasn't come up when Cisco's ready to get there, it's over for them. And there's no competition, but people are gonna start seeing him, and they're gonna be like, "Let me give him a chance." And they're gonna see.
But there's a lot of but there's a lot of loyalty, man, that goes through it too. There is a lot of loyalty.
But that's the thing, right?
From client to barber, you know what I mean? It's a lot of loyalty. And I tell you, that's happened to me when I moved from, Mueller to South Park Meadows. That's a 30-minute drive when there's traffic.
Yeah.
I still see people that live across the street from my shop in Mueller. They go all the way
to South Park
Meadows.
Yeah.
That's that loyalty that these people are able to show, and that, takes them all the way over there.
There is that loyalty, and I agree with you. But and there is a crowd for everybody.
Yeah.
Whoever is attracted to you is attracted to you. I guess I'm coming from a place of the unlimited mind frame that you can go as high as you can in this industry without no limitation, especially in the digital world. You not only can make $100 of a haircut, you can make $200 selling your course online. You could make $300 selling that, right? So you could make $500 while you're getting one haircut at 100. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that in order for you to achieve that level, you have to first visualize yourself, what you want to do. And for you, they may be dressing as shit, but that's your perspective. And to your point, it's like people have loyalty, right?
Yeah,
so what I'm saying is like, who do you want to be? Where you want to achieve? Who do you want to attract that can align with what you're visualizing?
Yeah.
But you have to start with yourself.
Yeah.
And it's that, and that comes from everything, just holistically, how you market yourself, how you talk, how you present, this, that, and who you want to be loyal to, and who you want to be loyal for yourself.
And it takes time, and it takes time. And if you see those people that are, putting themselves out there, we charge $75 100 or whatever, be honest. Go to their links. See their schedule. They have a ton of openings.
Openings, yeah.
You know? And it's because they live off of like 5 haircuts a day, 3 haircuts a day. They make $300. Boom. You know? And that's just how they make money. They work less, sure, but like, I mean, at least me, I want to do at least 12, 13
haircuts a day.
Well, yeah, it depends on the right.
How many do you do? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Between 10 and 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on like every barber's goals. Like a lot of people are willing to say, I'm gonna put this much effort into who I am, where I can trade time. I spend more time with my family, do less haircuts, but I know I can charge more. However, in order for you to charge more, it needs to that you have to do other things in the back end. So a lot of things can happen, right?
Income.
Like there's always ways that you can make. Again, it's unlimited. It all depends on how you view it, and it all depends on like what you believe in. If you believe that 12 haircuts a day is what gives you satisfaction, amen. Shout out to you. Now, if you believe that 6 haircuts can provide you that happiness, you get to trade that time with your family, but you know that you work on yourself and you are presentable, you provide value to your clients, you create loyalty, you create relationships, and 6 haircuts is what still pays your bills. Yeah. Amen that too. All depends on what you want, but you got to just be honest with yourself and say, what is the thing that is going to give me satisfaction as a professional in any field? And if that's what makes you, if 12 makes you happy, good for you. If 6 makes you happy, great. As long as you know what game you're playing and how you're playing it, unlimited.
It's kind of like here, where I work is 35. As long as you work 30, 35, you're good. But I tell the people that come in here, it's salary based. You get benefits, you get vacation. In those 30 hours, you got to hustle. Like, you can work more if you want, but if you get your shit done in 30 hours, you can leave early. You don't have to clock in, you don't have to clock out.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I've learned too. How can I be efficient in those 30 hours? How can I make whatever they're paying me worth?
Yeah.
Plus, I think, I deserve more at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's how you want to work and where you want to go with that.
And what you're willing to put in the line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
There's always guidance, right? You gotta a lot of people that I work with in the past and now, a lot of them need guidance.
Yeah,
especially early on, man.
Yeah, especially early on when they're like coming out of school, whatever. How do I set myself up from the cheers that they get at school to the clippers they come to the shop with, to like, how do they do business?
Yeah.
There's a lot of guidance to do, and if you're at 7 years and up, then you could do whatever you want. Like Abel said, sky is the limit, right? You can do whatever you want, but also, with guidance, it's always a good thing. I don't expect for my people to be in my shops for 5-10 years, or forever. I don't. I love them to death. I love the ones that are there and the ones that left, in a good or bad terms. I don't care. I love them all, and it's just, that's how it is. But at a certain point, whether they were cutting from they were 13 years old to now or whatever it is, they needed that guidance. A lot of people don't know when to raise their prices.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't have that like, oh, when should I? And then they raise their prices and they're like, oh shit.
Oh, what I do now?
I only have 2 people today.
Yeah.
So it's a slow process. But it's a very fulfilling process at the end of the day.
Yeah, very rewarding.
Yeah.
And it opens a lot of opportunities beyond the chair also, right? We mentioned that you can make money selling a course. You can make money, bro. There's barbers that write books and they sell their book online. You could create merch. You can actually explore to see if this is the beautiful part about the barbershop industry is that you get to explore multiple skills in one. You can learn customer service, which can help you tap into probably consulting, tap into therapy. Maybe you want to go to school for as a psychologist, right? And be like, man, I've been working I love the figuring out things with clients.
Yeah.
You can learn design. You can learn marketing. You can learn sales. There's so many. The barbershop industry is one of those complete industries that you have the chance either to evolve in it, or you can go to other industries and explore other roles and other careers there and say, you know what, I love selling products. Maybe I could sell software. Maybe I could go into tech and sell something else. I like marketing. I like creating content. I have love for that. Let me go and lean into it. You get to lean on your strengths, and that's a good way to find it. But you need the right guidance to really open those possibilities for you.
I got 2 nurses working with me.
Look at that.
You know what I mean?
At the shop? They're like, yeah.
Well, they're not nurses doing nursing, but they're barbers.
They come from it.
They're barber and a stylist, and they are going to school for nursing. And
Look at that.
we give them that opportunity to work at our shops and go to school at the same time, and but that, I mean, it works.
Yeah, it's a amazing,
flexible if you want it to be, right?
Yeah, extremely flexible, and the opportunities and the ideas that can surge from talking to people. Man, you could start a business with someone who's a client of yours. That's again, you get to educate yourself with clients and say, hey man, I want to go into this. I know that you do it.
Yeah, me and Cisco, we're gonna open up a taqueria later.
There you go.
Los dos.
That's the beauty of it,
Puro cachete.
Puro cachete.
I'll jump in too. No, but it's one of those things that I think is taken for granted.
No, it's I think going into that, nurses that are doing working as barbers. I think when someone is really wanting to do something, and was it the kind of like a jack of all trades type of thing, you're allowed to do that. Like we're in a country that there's a lot of, I don't know how it is everywhere else, but here it's not perfect. But there's one thing that it has is if you want to hustle, you can hustle. Like at the end of the day,
opportunity, man.
Yeah, if you really want to make it happen, you can make it happen.
Yeah, available.
I mean, having 2 nurses, completely different industries, doing it, and I'm pretty sure they're getting experience from both.
Yeah, shout out to Katie and Hannah.
Shout out. But it's cool. It's because I had something similar when I started working. What even here now?
Yeah.
Otro por favor.
Otro por favor. and then shots with the Richie, and then on the weekends, OnlyFans.
Almost.
But let's take a quick drink break and a restroom break, and we'll be right back and close down with the mental health part.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that one, it's gonna November's here, so I think it's always good to talk about the psyche along with the other work that's going on.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back. So one thing that I wanted to highlight is mental health. I know growth also has, I always say every time you do something, you're gonna have some painful, moments, and those are gonna build some scarring, and that, scars stay. Like they don't go away. They stay. What is something that you guys do to take care of your mental health as a business owner, or like say for example, owning different locations, going back to working with a collective of people, owning a business that that you have people under you. What are you guys doing to take care of that psyche?
I'll go first, I guess. For me, first and foremost, it's always been like at the forefront for me. It's always been working out, making sure I'm like active. And most recently, I don't know why it took me so long to find this, but I started playing golf like 5 months ago.
Okay.
And that's been such an amazing thing for me mentally. That's my time. I get 4 hours out of the day just to hang out with some friends or by myself and play in a course. And that's been such a game changer for me personally. So
Cool, man. How about you, Edgar?
Yeah, same thing. Working out. I wake up at 4 in the morning.
You still wake up at 4 in the morning?
Still wake
A la verga.
Oh yeah, well, last time we talked,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Waking up at 4. I stopped actually for a year working out, and I just started back up maybe about 2 months ago, and I feel like it was missing from my life, right? Like something I needed something more, and so working out it's one of the things I do. Just going home to my kids. That's another thing that I hang out with family. That's another thing that I do a lot. We have movie nights every Friday, so my daughter comes over, and we watch movies with the kids and buy pizza, and we'd make it into a little party. So I love that, and that's part of one of the things that I need. I feel like, and what else? Driving without the radio on, that's been one of the things that I just like clears my mind. I'm just driving and thinking of 1,000 things that I gotta do, or I got, but it's more clear when I'm driving without any noise, and that's been helping me a lot. And when I get home, when I meet my partner, I'm like, hey, we gotta do this. Can we do this? Can we do that? And I'm at 110 miles per hour at that point, right? And I think that's been helping a lot with my mental health.
That's good. That's good. Tu, Abel?
For me, has been sleeping 8 to 9 hours. Sleeping, I think, has changed a lot of the ways that
Wait till you have a baby.
I feel. Oh man, dude, listen. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying it. I gotta say.
You're like, let me think that in real
Listen,
quick.
I think. Don't even remind me, man. Like, I'm enjoying this moment because I know
you
that
went from chill to like red.
I know. I was like, oh no, but I'm enjoying this moment because Edgar's right. I don't think I don't know what I'm gonna get myself into, but I'm enjoying the moment.
You can call me.
I'll call you for sure.
I got 4.
And sleeping 8 to 9 hours for now, has been helpful. I think I also have really good people at my disposal to always reach out to them and bounce things, with them, because I think that the way that I operate, it's different from a lot of people. I think things a little bit in a deeper sense and more fundamental, and it could feel very lonely at times. And I feel sometimes that people don't get me, and that could be frustrating. And I'm sure we all we know that, because in the positions that we're in, you kind of are one of your own. Like, no one else is like you. You don't have a second Edgar. You have your wife, but your role is different from hers, and you have your own unique role, and it's difficult to bounce those thoughts, ideas, frustrations, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Even just like quick things that you want to express out, having people around that can always be like, yeah, man, talk to me. Oh yeah, and give you that extra perspective. I think I've been blessed to have that available, so that helps a lot.
The reason why I wanted to ask each and every one of you guys is because, I mean, success, a lot of the times, especially in Hispanic culture, somos una nubecita y nos mareamos. We get to this place and we don't know what to do, or we get dizzy because se nos sube la cabeza, whether it's a little bit of recognition, having a successful business, or whatnot. And I think, or at times, it's just we're in a I would say in a era where we have a lot of know-it-alls and a lot of I have the only answer to I have the right answer to everything. But a lot of the times, it's at the end of the day, like hearing you guys and talk about, like being more about what has worked out for you guys, what has not worked out for y'all. I think that the hopefully the audience can see that, and also like behind that is just the the mental health part. for men, we don't really talk about stuff like this. Where like you're sharing, like, man, something you feel alone. Yeah, me too. Or like say like finding something new, like golf, or just like driving like quietly, like those simple little things that you do that can help you. I hope everyone out there can find something that can help them cope with, So it's help them feel better, different, and not that. Then the reason why I was also wanted to add this is because, let's say, a couple of beginning of this year, there was a comedian. His name is Richo Farrell. He went through a pretty bad like mental breakdown. And he literally pretty much went on Instagram Live and started shitting on all his friends, bringing out a lot of shit really deep stuff about everyone. But he went to, get himself checked into a clinic, and he's out of it right now. He's still in recovery, but it seems to be better. But it's just one of those that you never know. He started talking about like, man, sometimes a lot of, everything's going 100 miles per hour, but you don't get to sit down and think like, hey, what am I doing to do things better for myself? And then the expectations sometimes, as business owners, as Cisco, there's a lot of expectations for you guys, whether it's with family, whether it's with your consumer, with your employees. So it's good to talk about shit like that,
Yeah, no, I had those moments, and I'm not gonna lie, I screamed out loud in my car, just like, and just big old scream, but I let it out. But that was my time.
Yeah,
that was my time by myself where I had to let it out, and I did, and I was glad about it. I was proud of it. You know what I mean? Because I did not let it out on anybody else. I was by myself, and I did it, and I had those moments. I had those moments where like those WTF moments, right? Like, and because of, having like one location, but also having 4 locations, there's always something going on, and he could tell you it's always something different, always something happening. Either the internet is not working, or the phone is not working, or there's a leak,
a light is out.
Yeah, something. There's always something. It's a 24/7, and that's what I said last time. Like, if you are going into business, need to understand that this business is a 24-hour thing, 24/7 thing. It doesn't stop. It's always on the grind. It's always on a,
problem solving.
Yeah, always, always moving, always something. So having a business it's a lot more pressure, than working for, a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
And even people that have a 9 to 5, like, they have nervous breakdowns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to be a little crazy to start a business, to be honest with you. A little bit. I think that we're just.
So you're calling Edgar crazy?
No. Well, like, meaning
insane.
Yeah. It requires a special type of person to manage not only your own emotions, but also manage other people's emotions and things that are also out of your control, and the things that just go. You think that you solve something, the next day, bro.
Yeah.
You something else.
You got, let's say I only had 2 locations, and the 2 locations have 6 chairs each, right? You got 12 people that you gotta deal with, characters, emotions, needs, like, oh, so-and-so doesn't get along with so-and-so. I mean, it's just so many things that go behind the scenes that you have to deal with. When I started my shop, I'm like, oh, cool, it's gonna be a hanging out spot, blah, blah, blah. We used to hang out at the end of the day, drink a beer, a shot, take a couple shots, blah, blah. And now I don't even let them touch the drinks. But it's not that. It's just it's just it just becomes different.
Yeah.
Right. It becomes different. It's now I think about it differently of on a business than when I used to hang out and drink or whatever. Um, it's just it's a total different monster, and people don't understand that you also gotta do the business side of it, and not only that you become a sort of like HR.
Yeah.
Basically.
You become the complaint department. Like, oh, this, all that. I mean, good thing that we have great communication at our shops now. We have great people working with us now, that everyone takes care of the shops like it's theirs. And if there is a filter change, they send me a text and like, hey, bro, like, can we change this filter at the shop? Boom.
Voila.
My AC at E6 broke 3 times. You know what I mean? My AC at South Park Meadows, I have to change it. You know what I mean? But they're dealing with it and they're cool with it and they're like waiting, and they're building Dave and Buster's right next to us, so we're just waiting for them to open, and like, oh, a lot more traffic, walking traffic, and stuff like that. So that's those things are important to have, and it's just part of the growth, right? And part of the business, I guess.
That's good.
I think this is hitting me already.
One more last question is if there was a person that's starting to either start a barbershop or starting in the barbershop industry as a barber, what is something that you guys can tell them as an encouragement? What is something like they can know that, it's gonna be okay, but this is what you have to go through?
I would say to back one of the things that you said earlier is literally go shadow one of your favorite barbers or one of your favorite barbershops. Ask them if you can go in there for like a week or two, from open to close. You're there sweeping, you're helping out, you're folding towels, but literally just being there from open to close and seeing, what they go through on a day-to-day.
Day-to-day.
Like, are you willing to do that day in, day out? Like the apprenticeship program, basically. Even though we don't have one in the States. I think something like that for someone coming into the industry, I think that's just such a valuable thing. You were doing that with some of those guys from
you were there in the meeting for us, yeah.
Such valuable experience, I think.
What I will recommend is, I agree with what he said also. I think that's shadowing is extremely important because it gives you that true perspective of sets a little expectation rather than assuming or what you see online. Because sometimes these guys only see the best things of a barbershop online, but they don't really see like what the real world is like. That's one. The other thing is, whether you're starting a business, any business, a shop, or you're going into school to become a barber or any other career, is really take your time and find out if this is for you. If you're not excited every day, even if the school sucks or even if the job sucks, if you're not excited to take the good, the bad, and the ugly of the industry or any industry, then you may want to take more time to explore what will get you excited, because it's not what you think it is. It's going to take a lot of time to even show what you're seeing. So I think it's that. I will say that shadow a barbershop and really ask yourself, like, am I excited to be part of? Because shadowing is going to give you also more information. Get the data, read a book, read things that are like, what is it? Why am I doing this? Really ask your question. Like, even if starting a business, why am I opening a barbershop? I admire barbers who don't open shops. I think that's like good for them because they said it's not for me. And that is that's a good way to be successful, is being honest with yourself. And you can still be successful without owning a barbershop. You can still be successful not being a barber. So there's so many ways in this industry that you can make it. but it's just about asking yourself, is this for me?
Yeah.
That's really one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. Shadowing people and stuff like that. We at Olde Soul started we call it apprenticeship. It's 12 weeks, but we only apprenticeship people that are serious about the industry, are serious about where they're going and what they, I was telling them earlier, like, uh, you know, eh, we prepare them in a professional way. That way, whether they stay with Olde Soul or they go with anybody else, they go to any other shop, they work professionally and they understand the requirements to be at a shop. Teaching them good habits, obviously, and teaching them how to really cut hair, because there's a lot of people that come out of school thinking they're badass and they start cutting hair behind the chair and you start seeing them and like, oh man, like, and I don't know about you guys, but I look at every dumb haircut that comes through my shop. I'm there and I'm like scanning everything. Whether you've been with me for 3, 4 years, 5 years, I'm still looking at your haircuts. But it's just what I do. It's not because I'm trying to like micromanage anyone. It's just what I do, because basically I'm quality control, right? So whatever goes through my shop, it's like, hey, can we fix that line? Or there's a line right here. Oh, there's a shadow or something, right? It needs to get fixed. Then I'd rather people leave the shop with a quality haircut and a good haircut, and they leave happy, than for someone to leave because people are so easy and fast to leave the shop and right away they get on their phones and start giving you a bad review. And that doesn't only hurt the person or the barber, but it hurts the business.
Yeah.
It hurts everyone at that shop. Not only for me, not only, let's say that person comes out at E6, doesn't only hurt E6, it hurts the 4 locations.
Yeah.
Because now they're going to see like, oh, I'm not going to go to Olde Soul. Right? So that's what, but the apprenticeship program that we have, it teaches them, we have a whole curriculum on it, and we teach them how to start the business, how they're actual business within my business, and we show them how to cut hair. Basically, we have a mentor that's with them when they start and when they leave, and we go through their haircuts. But this is not a free mentorship. This is a paid mentorship. They're still getting paid.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're not doing it for free. We're not doing it for free either, right? Only getting basically a penny off of it. But our goal is to make someone better to go to anywhere, whether they stay with us or they go anywhere else. And that's my recommendation, or like for me to say someone that's starting, like, take this apprenticeship. We only take one person at a time, but go to a shop, learn from them, but also take it serious.
Yeah.
And not just be like, oh, I'm just here to make money.
Yeah, taking it serious is the word, man.
That's taking really it serious. Just take it serious. Take it, and like Abel said, if you take it serious, the sky is the limit. You do a bunch of stuff with it.
Anything you want.
Anything. From, like you said, selling books, selling a program, selling this, selling that. But you have to put in the work. You have, that guy Marv?
Yeah, Marv.
Yeah, he's been doing it for how long? For many years. And he sells a bunch of stuff. He does courses. He does podcasts now, which is, he does a bunch of stuff. He makes money from a bunch of places.
Yeah.
And you see his haircuts, and his haircuts are okay.
Yeah,
They're
good. They're good.
They're good. But in this industry, if you do great customer service, you do an okay haircut, and that person leaves happy, you're
It's time.
golden.
Yeah.
You're golden. You can do whatever you want.
Can I ask them a question?
Mhm.
What do you think? What do you think is the overall? And you can talk about also like your plans on what the future looks like for you, and also what the future looks like as an industry.
For me, one thing I tell you, I don't want to open up more shops. That's the future. I don't want to open up more shop, but if I'm crazy enough and the opportunity is there, I will open it. Like, there's no doubt. I love providing jobs for people that they could, provide, for their families and be happy at a safe place, because we serve anybody and anyone. That's my future for the shops. I don't want to grow anymore. If anything, I would want to open an actual school to fix the system. What we were talking about, that will be sort of a future thing. But don't quote me on that, because it's still in the works.
It's on the internet,
don't know.
man.
Yeah,
It's gonna live forever.
don't know.
He
if
was
that's
taking
gonna
notes.
happen. Yeah.
I see those eyes.
Personal, I don't know, man. I love Austin. I'm from LA. I moved here 5 years ago. In 5 years, we opened 4 shops. Bought a home. I provided for my family, and we live comfortably, right? And I don't see myself going back to LA. But I can't say I don't know if I'll stay here. I just don't know what the future is. I don't know. I like Denver. I like Colorado. But I never been there, so I just don't know personally.
Yeah, doing an internship over there.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
An apprenticeship in Colorado.
But that's personal. Personal, I really don't know what the future holds, because I haven't thought about that, and I don't think me and my wife have thought about that. We thought about moving overseas, like Europe, because she's Ukrainian, and we could go anywhere, right? Especially with the work I could do. I could go anywhere and work. She even thought about getting her license. She's like, "What about if I become a barber and we both cut? You teach me." I'm like,
You speak 2 languages too.
Yeah, 2 languages. She speaks like 6 languages. So, yeah. So
you're in a good position to be that you can move around. Like, you have, not that you're going to, but you can potentially move around. It's a good. You have the option.
But I also have limited time, right? Because I have kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, so it's limited time. I wouldn't want to move my kids when they're like 12, 13, because I was moved when I was 12.
I feel you on that, man.
Mexico to the US, right?
And that was, if you're gonna move, it needs to kind of be quick.
And that was tough for me, and that's what we had a conversation on. But that's it. Future, I don't know. Shops is, I don't want to grow more, but I do want to make them strong and with good people, and be successful with those 4 shops, and that's it. And maybe open up a school like we were talking about, just to fix that whole curriculum. And maybe, when you do 1,000 hours, but you still got another 500 with me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm gonna teach you this, and that, and then you could go on in life with
because
whatever.
Because shops like mine can benefit from that from that mind, for that like framework, right?
Any shop,
any
could
shop,
benefit.
really.
Yeah.
Any
But also
shop.
then they will benefit to like filter out other
And the
shops that
barber.
resemble something like what you
Mhm.
cater to. Because if you don't have a reference, it's hard for you to make a good choice. You will kind of like go to
Just
wherever
wherever you, yeah.
wherever you fit. So
Mhm. And it's a lot of mentality, right? A lot of mental state. Because I have Michael, I love this kid. He's like my son, right? He came on. He came from Paul Mitchell. Did not know anything, right? And so I said, all right, I'm gonna give you a chance, and I'm gonna take you under my wing, but I need you to do this, and this and that, right? Kid, listen, bro. You tell him, hey, you need to stand right next to me and shadow me for this haircut. He'll stand right there, or just shadow me, right? And then you tell him like, hey, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, blah blah blah, by your paperwork or whatever it is, and he'll do it. But he that's the thing, like paying attention and moving forward with what somebody's telling you that had experience with that issue, and moving forward would just set you in success. Like it's just, there's no way out. Like
So simple.
it's so simple, right? And this kid is doing it.
Mm.
That have kids from Cedar Park calling for him. They don't want to go with anyone else but him, and he's just been doing it for 3 months.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That means it
So
worked.
it's like, yeah. So it's like
The proof is in the pudding.
exactly. You know, so it's like it's awesome to see, and that's what gives me joy, and that's what I live for this, right? Because I tell you what, a barbershop is not a multi-million-dollar business. You get some money, but it's not a multi-million-dollar business unless you work in it.
Yeah.
You know, and you can make some profit, sure, but it's tiny. You know, but if like Cisco could tell you, and I could tell you, because I work as a barber, I have to work in order for me to make my own money.
Yeah.
You know, you see me at the shops, you look me up, and I'm on the schedule because I'm cutting hair, because I have to make my money. You know, and but it's not a multi-million-dollar business. It's not like people think. So it's what you make out of it. You know. So
I think the fact of like what kind of helps me sleep at night per se is helping people, and like to your point about making the academy and like putting people in those better situations or better environments to help them help themselves. And you're just like, each one what's the saying, each one teach one, or that whole mentality of like just passing it on.
yeah.
I think for me that's
Yeah.
what helps me. And it's just like, whether it's me helping my clients out with something that they need, or like connecting them with someone that I know specifically, or helping one of the barbers at the shop with something that they need help with because of a haircut, or hey, what do you do this or whatever. Just like the idea, and I was telling Luke here earlier, it's like I went to school I was trying to go into education, and education was always one of the things that I had in the forefront when I graduated. But when I found barbering, and I'm like, man, I really love this. It's something different, and I didn't want to go into the education system. Again, going back to our previous conversation about the whole education process and everything, it felt just the politics of being in a system like that. I didn't want anything to do with it. So I go into barbering, and I'm just like, man, you can do a lot of change and have a very positive impact on someone's life.
Yeah.
So that's to your point to answer your question, that's kind of what I see myself in the next 5-10 years per se, is kind of moving also in that direction, being more of a coach, being more of like a barber coach per se, and helping those upcoming barbers kind of get to that point that I am in today. So,
Yeah.
Great stuff.
yeah,
It's cool, man. It's cool. It's good stuff. I think whatever I wanted to hear, I got to hear that plus more. I appreciate you guys for coming. It's meaningful. I think it was around too that I was thinking, how can we not like be stepping on the toes of the previous recordings, but add more to it, and we just did it. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
No,
Very
thank you
grateful.
for having
Hey,
us.
before we finish, what's the answer to your question?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Answer your own question.
Multiple things for us. For us, you know, we consider ourselves a shop that barbers who already been through other shops, who have the experience of being in commission and are ready to go into the next level of their career. We are working on creating the structures around that. And I'm talking about the next level as in, to what he said, how serious are you about this? And those are the type of people that we are focusing on attracting in the next 2024. And we're creating the structures around that so so those barbers get to achieve their goals on what they want to do. And I'm also preparing myself to what he said, like, how do you guide their business? How do you guide their personas to achieve the level of success that they envision for themselves? So creating the infrastructure around that is going to be a tough task, but it's doable. We also exploring the possibility of one of our guys to expand with us, because always our goal has been, how do we partner up? Like, all of my guys are my partners. So we have, think about 6-7 people partnering to create a successful venture. I think that's what has been super magical. So it's different from everything else. But that's how we consider ourselves. So creating the infrastructure around that, also preparing myself to guide them through that and guide other people. For me personally, I want to continue working with small businesses, personal brands, and also working with digital products, people who want to build cool things, people who want to build themselves, and people who want to build good businesses that can provide value to our society. Something that a lot of people forget as they're becoming business owners is that once you come into the space of entrepreneurship or business, what you're really telling the world is that I am committing my skills and my knowledge and myself to serve you. And a lot of people don't understand that concept. They think it's the other way around. Yeah. The customer serves them. And I think it's, anyway, bro, I could spend all day talking about it, but that's kind of like
No, you're good, man. It's, how can I say it? Thinking something serious for what you're trying to get to, that's a huge thing to do. But also adding partners to whenever you build a business, like especially a subcontract business in a barbershop, at the end of the day, is how can you make them part of that business, not just an employee. That's something that I hope as time goes on, companies can start seeing the potential they have within their companies, and not bringing someone else way more expensive to come in and try to put all this work and all this strategy when the strategy is with the people that work for you or that work with you. But
hear that hyper word? No.
Hear that hyper word? No, look. Fortunately, I've been blessed to, have a good input on my job. My ideas and everything I have, my boss is pretty, he likes that. So that's one thing. But yeah, how can people find you guys in social media, or how can they reach out to you guys?
Yeah, man, I'm blessed to be part of a team of people who are talented, They are extremely dedicated. I am super honored, and I'm lucky to be around this great team of people. I mean, the level of gratitude that I have is just, I feel it, and I'm super humbled to say that, you know, I'm learning a lot in this process, and I'm gonna continue learning, and I think that's what's gonna continue helping us grow and progress. And you can find us at 1023 Springdale Road, building number 1, Suite H. It's called The Barbashop. And you can follow us on Instagram, thebarba.shop.
Next to Medici, right?
Yes, inside Medici.
Medici.
Me?
You.
Well, I can't say all the addresses, but you could just look us up at oldsoulbarbershop.com. Instagram is oldsoul_barbershop. You can find me at E_TOT Tonser. I'm asking you like
Yeah, I'm like, I'm like, I think that's right.
E_Tonsor. And then my number, my social security number. No, I'm just kidding. No, but and yeah, we're in Mueller, right behind the Alamo Draft House. We're on East 6th Street, almost right across the street from Silker Brewery, next to Liberty Bar. We are at South Lamar, across the street from EC Tiger. And then we are also at South Park Meadows, right next to Double Dave's, Serrano's. What's the other one? The one with the girl, Gabriela's. Yeah, Gabriela South. We're in that location. So that's the newest one, the biggest one, the coolest one. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's those are the 4 locations. That's your home. I want to repeat the same thing that Abel said, but I can't because I'm a little drunk right now. I'm just kidding. But no, I work with amazing people, and they're whatever you said in our chairs, you're gonna get a great haircut and a great service, great customer service, and I promise that. And if not, it's free. Nah, I'm just kidding.
That's gonna be the real.
If it's not, it's free.
Free.
All locations.
Free.
Now, for me, you can find my stuff at odphadez.com, Instagram, Twitter, OnlyFans. I think I said
Te va a
that.
pegar Lily, güey.
Now, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Odphadez. More specifically, I work under or with Beer Brand at the Beer Brand Barbershop at 1003 East 52nd Street, Austin, Texas, 78751. So
Cool.
You guys can find me around the corner. You want some hands? Let me know. You guys can find us at Otra Por Favor, OtraXFavor. And also, Duke, thank you for, being behind the controls.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. Patito Malo PR. Ahí se cuidan, se portan bien y arriba el América.
Oh.